This is Warhawk Beyond 2040, and welcome to another edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal album review series. And today I am going to be taking a look at the two studio albums from guitarist John Petrucci. So, ever since bursting onto the scene back in the mid 1980s, John Petrucci has seen it all, done it all, and played and collaborated with just about everyone. From bands and artists such as the Explorers Club, to the Jon Finn Group, to Jordan Rudess, to Derek Sherinian, to Marty Friedman, to Bryan Beller, to G3 with Steve Vai and Joe Satriani, to Liquid Tension Experiments with Mike Portnoy, Tony Levin, and Jordan Rudess. You name it, John Petrucci has played with them all, and he is best known for his long association as a founding member of legendary progressive metal band Dream Theater. And when you hear John Petrucci, you know straight away it's him, as he has a very distinct and recognisable sound. And his early influences were bands like Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Rush, Yes, Iron Maiden, Dixie Dregs, and Metallica. And he draws a lot of influences in his guitar playing from greats such as Jimmy Page, Brian May, Eddie Van Halen, Yngwie Malmsteen, Alan Holdsworth, Alex Lifeson, Randy Rhoads, Mike Stern, Joe Satriani, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and David Gilmour. And John Petrucci is best known for his high-speed alternate picking and his metal shredding technique. And John Petrucci is considered by many to be one of the absolute best guitar players in the world. Steve Vai even went as far as to say that John Petrucci is the best guitarist he has ever heard. And for today's edition, I am going to be taking a look at the two studio albums of John Petrucci. And as always, I am going to be talking about each album individually, and I'll be choosing which one I think is the best one. We've only got two albums, but what two albums we've got here. Both are excellent, neither of them are bad, and if you're a fan of Joe Satriani or Steve Vai or Tony McAlpine, then this is definitely well worth checking out, in my opinion. Highly recommended to all guitar fans and to Dream Theater fans. You can't go wrong with either of these albums. Any of these two albums could be a number one or an all-time favourite. They're both excellent, in my opinion. So we're going to start with the first album, and this one came out in 2005, and this one is called Suspended Animation. So this is the first album from John Petrucci, and this came about after the G3 tour with Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. And this album is very much a power trio type of album, so there are no keyboards. This is your traditional guitar, bass, and drums. And as you'd expect from one of the greatest guitar players in the world, it is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommended, some brilliant guitar playing, and an amazing showcase for John Petrucci's technique and speed and shredding style. Just absolutely amazing. So we've got, of course, John Petrucci on guitar, Dave DiCenso on drums, Tony Vendoza on drums, Dave LaRue on bass, and Tim LaFeu on bass as well. So we've got two different rhythm sections, and holy cow, all of these guys sound incredible. What an album. If you like Dream Theater, if you like Steve Vai or Joe Satriani, this combines all of their styles and really turns into something really special. It's just absolutely amazing. So all of the compositions are written and composed by John Petrucci, and the whole album from top to bottom is just excellent. So we've got the first track, Jaws of Life, which is excellent. Glasgow Kiss, which is one of John Petrucci's most iconic pieces. Absolutely amazing. Tunnel Vision is brilliant. Wishful Thinking is great. Damage Control is excellent. Curve is brilliant. Lost Without You is great. And the 11-minute epic Animate Inanimate. Holy cow. Some of the most monstrous and ferocious guitar playing you will ever hear. And when you listen to John Petrucci's albums, you can really hear the influences of Dream Theater, which of course is no surprise because he is a founding member and a cornerstone for the legendary progressive metal band. But you can really hear just how much of an important role John Petrucci plays in Dream Theater and their music. And you can look at this as Dream Theater instrumental because the music is very much in the style and realm of Dream Theater, but totally different. It's more leaning towards the style of Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. There's elements of hard rock, progressive metal, classic rock, fusion. It's all here, and it's just outstanding. And the standout tracks for me are Glasgow Kiss, Tunnel Vision, Damage Control, Lost Without You, and Animate Inanimate. Tremendous album and a fantastic debut from John Petrucci. So there you have it. Suspended Animation, highly recommended. Not an easy album to find, but if you do find a copy, just get it. If you love Dream Theater, you'll definitely love this as well. This is absolutely amazing. So there you have it. Suspended Animation, fantastic album. So we move on to the next album, and this one came out in 2020, and this one is called Terminal Velocity. So Terminal Velocity is the second album from John Petrucci, and it features a reunion between John Petrucci and Mike Portnoy. And this album marked the first time since 2009's Dream Theater's Black Clouds and Silver Linings that John Petrucci and Mike Portnoy had played together. And you know something? These two don't miss a single beat. They sound as good as ever, and they just pick up right where they left off. You know, they sound like they just played the day before. The rapport, the bond, the chemistry between these two is as strong as ever, and these two are just absolutely locked in, and they just sound incredibly tight. And the rhythm section of Mike Portnoy and Dave LaRue, who are also bandmates in Flying Colours, they sound fantastic. Mike Portnoy is on top form as always, and Dave LaRue, he is one of the all-time great bass players. He just makes everything sound great, and John Petrucci is on fine form with lots of shredding and tasty guitar playing. And all of the compositions are written and composed by John Petrucci. And top to bottom, this album is equally as good as Suspended Animation. A little bit more different than Suspended Animation. Suspended Animation was more leaning towards the style of Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. But for Terminal Velocity, you can look at this and say this is Dream Theater meets Liquid Tension Experiment. Absolutely amazing, and it just sounds incredibly strong. And we've got the title track, Terminal Velocity, which is excellent. The Oddfather is brilliant. Happy Song is great. Gemini is brilliant. Out of the Blue is great. Glassy Eyed Zombies is excellent. The Way Things Fall is brilliant. Snake in My Boot is great. And Temple of Cicada is excellent. Start to finish, a tremendous album. Mike Portnoy and John Petrucci and Dave LaRue are just a power trio for the ages. They are all on top form. Everyone just plays like they owe people money. They just sound absolutely amazing. And all three musicians are at the top of their game. And holy cow, this is as good as it gets. And the standout tracks for me are Terminal Velocity, Out of the Blue, Glass-Eyed Zombies, Snake in My Boots, and Temple of Cicada. Excellent stuff. Absolutely love it. Great to hear Petrucci and Portnoy playing together once again after more than a decade. Holy cow, these guys just absolutely kick ass. And then you add Dave LaRue to the mix. Enough said. Doesn't get any better than this. So there you have it. Terminal Velocity, excellent album, and equally as good as Suspended Animation. Love it. So, which John Petrucci album do I think is the best one? Well, we've only got two albums to choose from. They're both excellent. Any of these two albums could be a number one or all-time favourite. I do love Suspended Animation. I think it's a great album, but I'm going with Terminal Velocity. I just think this album is outstanding, and the highlight of this album is, of course, the reunion between Petrucci and Portnoy. I just think these two, with Dave LaRue, just absolutely cook up a major storm. And as I said, this is the power trio for the ages. They are all on top form and just play like someone owes them money. They just sound absolutely fantastic. And it's the best of both worlds. We've got the best of Dream Theater and the best of Liquid Tension Experiments on one album. Doesn't get any better than this. It's an absolutely fantastic album. Both albums are good, but I feel that Terminal Velocity is probably the better of the two. Just absolutely fantastic. So there you have it. Terminal Velocity, for my money, the best John Petrucci solo album, in my opinion. Absolutely love it. Tremendous stuff. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite John Petrucci album? Is it Suspended Animation or Terminal Velocity? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourite albums. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal album review series. So until next time, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.